Hello, welcome back to F1 Manager 24's Creator Team mode here, now in race 19 USA, the original USA, at least in the current format of USA Grand Prix, Austin, Texas. Sprint weekend again, very tyre-hungry track, so sprint makes that even worse. I've deliberately made it a sprint in past FMs because of that. Nice bit of fun and challenge, but we ran through the entire gap between the USA Grand Prix and the one that preceded it, where, spoilers, points again. So I'm going to let you in on a secret as well. After the Netherlands Grand Prix, where we finished outside the points because nobody's engine wanted to give up, I was tempted to sort of run through the majority of the rest of the season in one video on the assumption we were just going to be stuck in that best of the rest spot. But then I took matters into my own hands. Bear in mind, I'd never actually decreased the gap between ourselves and the team in front of us by a significant margin. It was the gaps between the front and the gaps between the back that I bunched up to make the front and back as a whole closer. I never made us closer to Aston Martin in that respect by a significant margin. So I didn't improve our chances really in that sense of points. But then the patch came through, which also apparently changed the delta between the front and the back, and I don't know how that actually works in game. So things have happened obviously to then reignite things, and it's worked. So the plan to rush through the rest of the season abandoned. We're having fun again, properly. So, with that in mind, United States Grand Prix. One thing to note that I did just recognise before we get going here, I completely forgot that during that, Gary Gannon was being poached by someone. So, in order to do that, I'm now scouting race engineers. And weirdly, it's both Red Bull race engineers that are out of a job. Because Lambiasi is being replaced by Javier Marcos Padros, and Hugh Bird is being replaced by Ricardo Adar. For some reason, Red Bull are taking both of Ferraris. Ferrari themselves are taking Chris Conan, who I was looking at as a kind of a reasonable prospect, considering he's, 84 rated. It's not a massive jump. That's kind of a reasonable in-world choice. And Tom Stallard off McLaren, who again, I was looking at as a reasonable in-world choice to take 84 rated. But running through those chains, you can see that it's the Red Bull engineers that don't have the contracts for next year, for whatever reason. It's ridiculous. Everyone's going everywhere, apart from the Red Bull engineers, which might genuinely be the starting point. They've decided to change both of them for the Ferraris, and that's had the knock-on effect of everyone stealing someone else, but not the Red Bull ones. Bono's off to McLaren. That's it. You may have actually also noticed, I never really covered it in the bit that we ran through, but there was a moment where they decided they were going to have to delay the chassis coming in, which was going to come in before this race, but it would never have got manufactured in time. In fact, it's probably not even going to be manufactured until Miami, which is a bit pointless because there's only 3 more races. Las Vegas, sorry, because there's only 3 more races after that point, which is a bit annoying, but otherwise, So yeah, we're now scouting the Red Bull race engineers and likely going to... I'm probably going to go Hugh Bird because I want to keep it realistic enough that we'll go for the worst of the two, but it's still daft that we're looking at the Red Bull engineers. But anyway, I've only got one sprint session to get through here. Apparently we're actually really good at the United States for some reason. 11th and 12th is our current performance for this particular racetrack, even though the car itself apparently is 2021. Bear in mind that we've scored points at racetracks where we were predicted 19th and 20th. Well, hello there.
Welcome to the United States Grand Prix. We're in Austin, but there are no wild cowboys on the track this weekend, just some serious horsepower. It's sure to be a race to remember.
Don't forget, the schedule this weekend sees the drivers take to the track for an all-out sprint race. A good opportunity to clinch some crucial championship points.
Our weekend action starts here.
Well, it's rain for the practice and it's probably rain for the sprint qualifying as well, but sprint itself and race, probably fine. In fact, actually, this rain for these sessions genuinely might be a saving grace because it means we don't burn tyres for the rest of the weekend. We'll see how that pans out. Still got to give tyres back, admittedly, but it will give softs back, which means we'll have the harder compounds for the rest of the race weekend, and they're the ones that are needed for the race weekend. So might work out well for us. I'll see you for qualifying. All right, so sprint qualifying has begun, and it's very wet to begin with. It's almost pointless doing this, but you'll get the confidence up at least, if they don't lock up. Not going to get away with that in SQ2, not enough time. Actually, to be fair, might just. Just realised can't really leave it any later than that. Considering they go full pelt on an outlap if you actually tell them to. we should be fine. We're obviously going to need to do another lap because we did that on wet tyres. The fact that people have gone slowly indicates obstructions for those particular drivers, but I don't know if we're going to get stuck in traffic or if they're all going to come in. I mean, 2 people haven't actually done a lap, including Russell, who I think has only just started his lap, actually. He's gone at the very end. We'll stay off board for this. Yes, those 3 drivers that were immediately ahead of us have come in. We do have a Sauber and an Alpine, I believe that to be, on track ahead. The Mercedes, I presume to be Russell. I haven't actually checked. It is, yes. Crossline fine, no issues. And he's the only other one on a flying lap. So Alonso out, Albon out, Bottas out, definitely. Magnussen, Tsunoda and Sargent all in danger because 3 drivers behind Russell, you'd presume to go faster. We're obviously going to go faster than we did before because we're on intermediate tyres and intermediate weather now, when we weren't before. Fascinating, we're not really closed on the 2 drivers on in-laps ahead of us. So we might actually get away with that, or we're going to catch them in the worst place possible. But obviously expect Russell to go through and go at least... Zhou Guan Yu 11th, I just noticed that, but around there. Obviously rainy conditions doesn't really work towards Maloney's strong suit. It's not really mixed strong suit either. He doesn't have that much better adaptability himself. There goes Russell, 6th, in fact, actually way better. Probably because it was more dry. But it's wild that we've not caught those 2 drivers ahead of us who are on in-laps. But here we go, around the last couple of corners. No traffic to deal with at all, which is wonderful. To hopefully push Sargent and Tsunoda out. Already shaking things up. Oh, Mick's 16th. Maloney's 10th. How's Mick done that? Okay, that's wild. So we basically start Q2 where we ended Q1, which is actually a rarity. So I don't think you'll be able to get 2 laps in 10 minutes. And actually, you want to go at the beginning anyway, so off you pop. Hopefully all 16 drivers come out straight away here. I'm going to presume we went on to new intermediates for this. We did, yeah. Didn't actually bother checking that. I'm hoping by everyone getting on track straight away, this won't be a problem. I'm going to say, those 2 drivers we were worried about on in-laps in the previous qualifying section were less far ahead than the Ferrari and the Williams, I think that is, of Sargent, were less far ahead than those 2 are right now. So we shouldn't have issues with traffic, in theory. No rain in the sprint race, of course, it's just in the qualifying session. And this is the lap that's going to matter, because it's going to get wetter from here. It might even get to full wet, considering we've started at 3.5. So we kind of only get one chance of this. Obviously, it'll take purple sectors by being the first person to do anything. Probably the best data tab to have open right now. Oh yeah, Leclerc being the 3rd driver on track does somewhat ruin things in that sense, because he will probably go fastest in every sector. There is a Red Bull stuck on someone else here. Don't know which one it is. It's probably Perez because he's registered a sector. But I don't know which driver he's stuck on. It's an RB. Oh, it has to be Ricciardo because Tsunoda's out. And both of them are catching in an Alpine. So Perez is limited by Ricciardo, and both of them might be limited by a Alpine ultimately. Maloney does a 1:46.8, which I feel like is slower than his Q1 time. But yeah, in theory, this is only going to get wetter from here. In fact, it actually says heavy rain from this point onwards, so I don't think we're going to get a chance to do better than that. So one by one, we're going to have to watch the times fold in. Zhou Guan Yu was invariably slower through every sector, but only 2.5 tenths isn't bad. I told you that this is the back that's kind of bunched up. Leclerc puts us in our place, followed by Hamilton, who not that much better. Ocon folds in, but way behind. Perez obviously does a vaguely similar time to Ricciardo. That's 4 drivers behind already. Sargent kind of the main question mark here. Stroll a question mark too. We'd expect everyone else except for Stroll and Sargent. We'd probably expect Stroll, but it's not a guarantee. 2 tenths or so. I can say Sainz now guaranteed to be out pretty much, unless Sainz is an absolute nightmare. And there goes Sargent, but 11th on the grid. Zhou Guan Yu 12th though. Zhou Guan Yu 12th. That is a time from Zhou Guan Yu. No, he's had a weird lap, but he's through. No, you're not. Now you are. Just a warning, the pit lane may be wet. Oh, really? Really? You think? And there's no chance that anyone does better now because it's got... In fairness, it's not got that much wetter, but there's no real point trying again. Someone who maybe done like a massively slower time, like Gasly, perhaps, might have a chance, but... Oh, he was actually slightly faster than his Q1 time, actually. I don't know why Mick was so slow in comparison. It's Max from Piastri, from Sergio, from Carlos, from Lando. Charles Leclerc, Daniel Ricciardo, Hamilton, Russell, Stroll. Kind of largely the usual suspects in the usual order. 130 something implies maybe dries were used by the end. Mind you, I don't think that's I think that might be just drier intermediate weather, because that is 7 seconds faster. So I don't know what's happened there. A medium tyre will literally just get to the end. I think we might just have to do it on that and then go light for most of it. I kind of don't want to burn the hards for the race is my thinking there more than anything. I want to keep the hardest compound for the race.
It's lights out and away we go.
No preamble for the sprint. A couple of people on hards, it's expected really. Obviously we take no fuel out for sprints because I don't know what the recovery rate is going to be like. So a driver like Sargent on a hard should be easy pickings for Mick Schumacher, who's already got Gasly actually. Lenny seemingly struggling off the off here. Zhou Guanyu was taken by a hard-running Hulkenberg. I think I just heard an incident, but it was the Russell lockup, that was all. He didn't actually really lose much, but he stayed ahead of his teammate. Piastri takes the lead of the sprint, as Mick's still looking in the back of Sargent. Hasn't really made much of an inroad there. Perez has developed a fault on lap 1. Stroll in danger of falling off Hamilton, and has in fact fallen off Hamilton. DRS not active on lap 1, of course, so this first DRS zone here, not in play. The back straight, which I suppose is technically actually DRS 1, will be. Provided Hulkenberg doesn't make a move now. So we're going to have to bring the tyres back immediately if we actually want to see the end of this race on them. We're going to have to go conserve at some point, of course. Interesting that Hulkenberg immediately kind of evaporated on this lap, so decided to stop pushing. I don't think Stroll got in the DRS. He's in range now, technically, but I don't think he was in by the detection point. We'll soon find out. He was not. So this will naturally drag us away from... Too busy looking at that one. We didn't bother looking at Mick, who, behind the detection point, got past after the detection point and drove away. Goodbye. Goodbye, Logan Sargent. Obviously, top 8 here is largely irrelevant. This Hulkenberg's got an issue as well. That's probably what it was in combination. But he is on the back, is Zane Maloney of Lance Stroll, who, again, still doesn't have DRS. Interesting, a couple of drivers actually used more of their tyres already. Russell locked up, of course, so that's going to be a massive problem for him. Can't afford any of that. Mick gets past Ocon there. Meanwhile, we need to actually pay attention to Zane Maloney. Watch that replay real quick. So again, behind at the detection point. I mean, that's the pit entry line, but the detection point was before that. And then on the main straight, has the DRS. Goodbye, Esteban Ocon, unless he had it on the car in front of him, of course, which he may well have done. So Zane does not get Stroll, but Stroll definitely doesn't have DRS, so that's fun for them. So he certainly can't really push fuel longer than that. I would like to believe we can get 0.4 back in 16 laps. But I think that's about us done there on that front. Mick Schumacher has a detached Hulkenberg and then a detached Zhou Guanyu in front of him. Taking Zane off pushing modes does drop him out of the DRS. Although he does have it for this particular straight. We'll watch Mick because he's making the move and easily past Hulkenberg. So that could just about keep him in Stroll's DRS for the main straight. It does not. Surprised Tsunoda and Alonso haven't made more inroads. Are they on hard tyres? No, they're on medium tyres. Bit of a strange one, that. Verstappen and Piastri fighting at the very, very front. But Mick Schumacher's turn now on the inside of Zhou Guanyu, fighting through, no fuss. Squabbling behind as well between the Alpine and Hulkenberg. I mean, Mick's driving is perfect. He's up to 12th from 17th, and his confidence is only very high. Of course, confidence here is a lot lower because of the practice session. The singular practice session does not get track acclimatization up. Also didn't have a fully checked in setup by the end of practice. I misjudged that one. Just timing wise. Sargent's had a spin, bless him. Oh dear. Unfortunately, that's probably that for us. We're detached enough from Lance Stroll that I don't think we're going to be going forwards, and Zhou Guanyu is far enough behind and still losing time even when we're on conserved tyres. I don't think that's ever going to be a problem behind, although Hulkenberg might slowly get more into this behind. And I feel like Mick is gradually sneaking in. Russell had to pit because of those tyres. But unless we lose Perez... Oh yeah, tyre thing's still an issue. Obviously Russell's going to come through both drivers here. It's no question. I will just steal a bit of his confidence as well in the process of doing so. But it does ruin his sprint. Obviously he doesn't have enough time or tyres to get caught up to Perez and get the point back. But 3 laps to go. This looks fun at the front though. Leclerc's well off, but the two McLaren's going for it. I really thought the ghosting issues would be fixed by now, but I don't know how to deal with that now. Norris leads Piastri, which if McLaren got their priority straight in real life, should be the way. But no, they're too frightened to do that for whatever reason. Honestly, if Norris is like within 25 points to Max Verstappen at the end of the season, I would say the McLaren have actually cost Norris the championship by virtue of all their decisions over the course of the season. Because I think he's genuinely lost out, but genuinely lost out on a good solid, well, I'd probably say 10 points. Hungary was obviously 7 points. Monza is what? 3, so 10, yeah. So if he's 10 points behind Max by the end of the season, then they've cost him a championship by being indecisive. There's your smoothness difference, by the way. Last lap, 34% Mick, 39 for Zane. Alonso getting a bit close, just nice for pride's sake to be 11 of the 12. It is Alonso and Tsunoda behind now, though. Russell did get vaguely close. Piastri has got past Norris on the straight and then driven away. Obviously, in universe, there's no team orders or indeed a championship fight. But across the line goes the two McLarens through a 1-2 in the sprint. Hamilton got Leclerc in the end. Ricciardo with 2 more points. Perez takes the last one, or will take the last one when we get around there. But yeah, that was an intensely boring sprint once it kind of sorted itself out after the first few laps. These things happen. It was the only strategy we had, mate. Perez had a shocker. What happened there, Perez? Engine, I think. Mick up 5, Fernando up 7, Yuki up 4. Shogun knew that failed because it's a Sauber.
Hello and welcome to the much anticipated qualifying session.
A stable platform while snaking through the high-speed sequence of corners is vital in the early part of a Circuit of the Americas lap. And during qualifying, drivers will want to have good aerodynamic grip and pinpoint accuracy so as to not lose valuable time through those turns.
If we could just talk about Mick Schumacher for a second. Given his recent form, how's he going to be going into this session?
It hasn't been a great showing from the team's drivers so far. Neither will want to be left behind, and I'm sure they'll both be looking to pull ahead today.
So get yourselves comfortable. It's going to be quite the ride.
Bit harsh on Mick there, really. He hasn't really put a foot wrong. I mean, admittedly, technically, he has had 2 crashes in the last 2 races. Technically, but that got erased from the universe. So they don't actually exist in the universe that Karun's commenting on. So it's a little bit pointless doing 2 laps in Austin because the tyre wear is so bad. But I mean, it is dry today, isn't it? Yeah, absolutely dry, no fuss. So curiously, it's actually put everyone in the order they finished SQ qualifying in to start with. And there we are, all things square. Those are some baffling times from some people there. They have done them on softs, haven't they? I need some of these drivers. I mean, Bottas has just gone 7th, which is insane. Not the person I was expecting to go up there, but Ricciardo 19, Hamilton 18. This is the one I need to pay attention to. Hamilton in 18th should get his lap in before we need to go out. I need to know what the difference is. So he's going to be plus 2.5. Never mind, he's crashed. Anyone else on a flying lap? No. I mean, Albon is, but oh, I actually can't see what the time is anymore. Have we got enough? What time is this? About 2:30, 2:43. Actually, I can see the time again now. It is rotating. It was just saying yellow flag, and I couldn't tell. So we haven't really got that much longer that we can faff around on here. I was kind of hoping someone would be on a flying lap. That we could then see an indication of how much faster people are going to go. Because being 10th and 12th is crazy at this point in time. I think we can probably leave it to like about 2:20. In fact, actually, there's a nice reasonable gap here. We're going to have to go because I don't know what's going on. And Bottas is obviously capable of going faster here, so we're not allowed to risk it. Albon, we're going to pay attention to being plus 2.8 as is. I'm going to presume he's the one going through the final sector. He is. Just going to keep an eye on him through the remainder of his lap. I don't know when to push their tyres. It's not super warm track temp-wise. And rubber's still quite low despite it being the end of Q1. I need to look into that in particular as well. But I'm just thinking tyre deg is quite bad here, so I don't want to push them too early. 2.8 to 2.7. They've not actually improved. Okay. Slightly weird that he's got extra fuel. I don't know what's going on there. I think we may have just held up an Alpine on their actual flying lap as well, which is fun. Oh yeah, so we definitely left the tyres too late. Mick, however, does have a Aston Martin directly in front of him. That's far enough away that it's never going to be a problem, but close enough that it'll be a lovely tow down the straight. So I don't think we need worry about Mick Schumacher at all, despite the fact he's on a slower first sector, because of course he has. So Hamilton's out. Tsunoda only 12th. There's some times actually coming in here that Mick Schumacher's safe. Mick Schumacher is actually 100% safe. And he's going slower anyway, so I'm going to call him it. I'll call him in the last possible second because I don't want him to stop driving and then get in the way of Maloney. So despite having the tow... All right, there we are. Last possible second, call him in. He's not going faster and he's 100% safe. Maloney, for his sanity, might just want to get this in. Stroll's gone 6th. And there are technically 3 drivers who could go faster. Ocon would have done it. Gasly didn't. But only would have been through in 16th if he hadn't actually crossed the line. So that was close, realistically. So Perez has a penalty, presumably from changing the part that was bad in the sprint. Ricciardo and Gasly with penalties as well. Ricciardo's is a layer from the previous race. I can't remember if Gasly's was as well. So a surprise faller of the first hurdle in Lewis Hamilton there. These aren't going to be good times for Mick and Zane, just because still faster than Hulkenberg for Zane somehow. Zane is in the top 10. Have we had a Q3 appearance? I think we must have in changeable conditions. I think we took advantage on maybe one occasion, two occasions. I think calendar might have been one of them. I feel like we had a changeable conditions one where people just didn't come out on. All right, let's go again. Now we've been mugged off by an RB there. I was trying to get Mick a toe on Zane. We could probably actually regenerate it by pushing Mick's out lap. I want to get them both through though. So get Mick out there and going first. Get him through that RB. Get him on the tail of Zane. Somehow push the RB. Right, so somehow that's worked out in absolutely the wrong way. For some reason, by pushing Mick, it's pushed Ricciardo through that S section into Zane. So now we're the other way around on track anyway. Thanks, Daniel, for messing that up somehow. And it's somehow got Mick worse tyre temperatures. On board in the dry with Mick Schumacher now. Who Zane has been pushed out of the top 10 as well, worth saying. By Valtteri Bottas? Sorry, I just need to check this. I think it is Valtteri, having completed 5 laps. There's potentially someone else, because I think Zane was 9th, so I think there's someone else who's come through in this kind of pack as well. But Hulkenberg flying lap, Stroll flying lap. I think they've all just started as well behind. Tsunoda and Ocon all on flying laps. Verstappen in 10th on the flying lap. That might be one. These are the 2 Red Bulls here. Ricciardo 2 on a flying lap in 8th. Leclerc's irrelevant because he's 2nd anyway. But crucially, everyone in the bottom from 8th downwards, apart from Bottas, is on a flying lap. So essentially, Bottas is the target. 1.3. Get past him. So that's a 1:33.8. Better first section from both drivers. That would be genuinely impossible considering how bad those tyres were before. Is Hulkenberg on a flying lap? Because he's not followed through with everyone else. I think Hulkenberg might not be on a flying lap, actually. Yeah, he's done. Ocon only 11th. Finds a 1:33.9. A 10th shy of what he needed. Realistic, because Verstappen's obviously going to go faster. There we go. There goes Verstappen. So, Boris is the target, but you've got to imagine Stroll's going to improve as well behind. Tsunoda, for that matter. You've got to imagine both of them are going to improve, and you would imagine Tsunoda's going to do a time similar to Ricciardo. So 1:33.3, that's the ultimate target. Not far off. Oh, Tsunoda's only 15th, actually. Both drivers are out, but it's 11th and 12th. I think we're yet to get into Q3 on our own 100% dry merit. Ricciardo ended up 4th. It was indeed a 1:33.3 that saw Russell through. About a 10th for both drivers, actually. 1:33.306, 1:33.4 essentially, and marginally worse for Mick. It wasn't a lot in it. In the end, a 10th did it. Fernando not much better either. Still, saves us a set of soft tyres. So it's Max, Lando, Charles Leclerc, Piastri, Perez with a penalty, Carlos Sainz, Russell, Alonso. That's a car park change penalty as well. Ricciardo with a probably 3 place for a 5-second delayed penalty because he was out when he got the penalty. So he will start 12th if I'm not mistaken there.
We're not far off now here in Austin as the drivers ready themselves for this 56-lap race.
The Circuit of the Americas is definitely a track that rewards bravery on the brakes, just like when Lewis Hamilton passed Sebastian Vettel unbelievably late here to take the win in 2012.
The track in Austin is a contradiction. It's high speed, but drivers need a decent amount of downforce to make good on overtaking. Having the grip to outbrake opponents here is key. Well, there's nothing quite like it. Welcome along to race day.
Race day indeed, and as hinted to by that recollection of Lewis Hamilton and Vettel, tyre choice is key. Being on tyres that actually are functioning is key, which means strategies like this don't work. You do need hard tyres. And bear in mind, you are going to be pushing the tyres at some point. It's fascinating they have both of these strategies, even though they're basically one lap different. On here, just got to throw it out there. I mean, I know obviously it's alternating, but it's not much faster to 3. It's not much slower to 3 stop. And obviously with that, there is the ability to do this. Not there, it isn't. Or there, for that matter. So it's technically marginally faster to the 3 stop, but it's more sensible to 2. 48 the min, 56 the usual, so 4 laps is halfway. I don't think there's really any need to be fancy here. Zane's smoothness is going to win out. There we are, all set up, ready to go.
Welcome back, everyone. The final preparations are now being made as we head into the race. And there's no doubting that Lance Stroll is prepared to put in the hard work.
Starting P8 is decent for them. Provided they keep the race clean, there's points on the table.
But just what will happen here, your guess is as good as mine. Here we go. It's the United States Grand Prix. And it's lights out, and away we go.
There is a soft running Lance Stroll. Both the drivers ahead of Zane and Mick just disappeared off the start there, as Lance Stroll does get his teammate and forces him off bad. I think Alonso's on a hard as well. So the Aston Martin's on vastly different strategies. Manoni remains ahead of Mick though. Lots of fights behind, I can see, on track, but our two drivers remain in flying formation. I like the fact Zhou Guanyu qualified well for the sprint and then Bottas qualified well for the race. The Sauber's finding something in both parts of this. I'm not going to tell them not to fight here, but kind of would be preferable if they didn't. Carter's penalty was actually a lot worse. He's down to 17th. I don't know. Actually, I just realised we started 9th and 10th because Perez went behind us, Ricciardo went behind us. Yeah, that's it. That's the two places, isn't it? Because Gasly's penalty, Gasly was behind anyway. So Bottas on a soft behind is going to obviously chew through those tyres. They're going to be not fun very quickly, but might be a sensible strategy for them though. Just drive as quickly as you can from the beginning and hold on to DRSs and gain a bit of advantage and do a bit of an undercut as best you can. Mick's struggling to stay on Maloney, but I think it's because Maloney's drafting Alonso more than anything, so he's getting that toe up straights, which Mick is not getting. It's interesting that Stroll on a soft is not dropping Alonso on a hard, despite being in the same vehicle. The tyre delta between the soft and the hard on lap 1 is not strong enough that, and the driver differential, of course, is not strong enough for Stroll to disappear away from his teammate. And it's kept Maloney in tow, annoyingly, so we come off that push, of course, now. And as soon as we do come off that push, Zane doesn't have DRS, so that's fun already. I think that's largely because Alonso actually got into a faster vehicle ahead's DRS, so it dragged the Astons away from Zane rather than Zane dropping off. It was a combination of both factors, I think. Just realised Perez exists in this train. Sure, it's actually been dropped by Alonso. The quality of those softs must have gone quite quickly. No, still 76. I'm not quite sure what's going on with Stroll then. Going to be that bad. So Mick sneaks through Zane there on the DRS straight. I want to let that happen naturally because I want to see if this is pace differential for the race for Mick, or if Zane can actually do anything back. Now, he can do something back and it's just going to ruin both of their confidences. I'm trying to work out who's actually building the bigger gap though, is the issue. Instant behind as Tsunoda drops places. I don't think there's a huge amount in it. Mick's still 3.3 off Stroll. He's not really lost anything there, but Zane is right on his gearbox, so I don't know if Zane is technically faster here. I'm going to let Zane through, and maybe Perez as well to boot, but at the very least DRS swapping does cut the gap because of the speed it gains. But the fun thing is, because we're doing this and deliberately doing this, it is making it harder for Perez to get through. I think he will still get through, but it's making it harder. Of course, this is the race, and 9th and 10th are points, but Perez and Ricciardo are right behind us. Ah, yes. Doing that, Mick, doesn't help. Really does it, mate? Sorry, hang on 1 second. Is Mick Schumacher fending off... Mick Schumacher has fended off Perez. Yeah, a bit late now, Gary. I put that on a while ago, but because he successfully defended from Perez, it's actually got him back into good confidence too. Bottas' softs must be going off now. 52%, yeah, they are. Struggling now, falling out DRSs of even Ricciardo here. Well, technically it's Zane's DRS ultimately, but yeah, telling Mick not to fight Perez is actually really helping his confidence. I say really helping. It's such a marginal gain for defending, but he's actually keeping Perez behind. We are slowly losing Stroll, annoyingly. Like, one good DRS swap would help, but you run the risk of getting Perez through on the DRS as well, and getting a 2-for-1. The more we hold up Perez, the more we hold up Ricciardo is kind of the thing. I know Perez is going to probably get through eventually through pit stops and what have you, but at some point he'll be in a position just to be able to take one driver. But as long as Mick's got DRS, it is making it so much harder for these two to get through. Hamilton too. Hamilton's got to come through as well. He's back there somewhere. As is Tsunoda. There's a lot of drivers back there. This time... No, he's done for now. He's done for now. So just because Perez has snuck through there, I'm going to take Mick off Don't Fight Teammate just in case he gets the opportunity to get Zayn in the process. Because I don't want him to just like back out and do a weird animation that costs him more time. I'd rather him just pass Zayn in a double DRS overtake with Perez than for him to do some weird thing and lose 2 seconds or go off the track or something stupid. Because Perez will get Maloney now. Yeah, no issue there. In fact, it's Zayn without the DRS here, so Ricardo's facing Maloney here, but Ricardo's actually going to get Mick first, I think. Although he's got the outside line. No, he hasn't. He has lost out to Ricardo there as well. Cool. Wow. Perez has just vanished. And Bottas is coming back now, even though his tyres should be going off. Both drivers, despite being overtaken by much faster cars, are now losing confidence. Yeah, the context bit of driver confidence is unsolvable because that requires, as I say, that requires total overhaul. But the just raw overtaken gain and loss needs to be looked at. It should just be a number, but I wish I could find that number. Fun thing though for Maloney here is Ricciardo is not going away fast enough. Thank you Bottas for overtaking Mick and then pitting immediately. That absolutely has ruined everything. I just need to sort of deploy with Mick for a little bit here. Get him back in a DRS, hopefully. He's not. I don't think he's in the DRS, but he's deploying as if he is. If you could fight Hamilton off, that'd be superb, Mick. Ah, no. Look, there we are. Look. This is so stupid. The amount of confidence you lose for being overtaken is insane. I don't think it's necessarily the confidence lot. Oh, I need to take him off deploy now. Actually, just realised. I don't think necessarily you're gaining not enough. I think you're losing too much is the problem for being overtaken. I think it's the being overtaken one that's got worse, like dramatically worse for some reason. Something in the coding. Like even Zayn's now sad. Bearing in mind that the 3 drivers that are now ahead of them are Perez, Ricciardo and Hamilton. 2 of them which had penalties from qualifying, and Hamilton got knocked out in Q1 because he had a mess up. So 3 drivers you'd expect to come through have now come through, and now both our drivers are intensely sad. Like the context thing, that I don't know how you solve that. I don't know how you solve that, but I am tempted, depending on how much is riding on the final race, to run an experiment in regards to confidence. Because whilst I can't find the raw attribute for confidence changes, because if I could change and fix that, that would solve everything. But I'm tempted to run an experiment because there is an attribute in the engineer's side of things that improves the confidence gain / loss for everything that gives you confidence gains and losses. Because there is a race engineer attribute that affects that. I want to see what happens if you make the boundary levels for that particular race engineer attribute. Rather than it being out of 100, make it out of 150 and then improve the baseline number by 50% as well. So if he's like a 70 out of 100, then we make it 105 out of 150, for let's say, for instance. Because that should still effectively improve his attribute by 50% and therefore improve their confidence gains by 50%. And I want to see if that fixes it. I kind of want to just... I want to see what one drive... I want to see what 100 out of 100 does for one. I just want to see what 100 out of 100 does. Because I don't know where they've messed this up, and I want to get to the bottom of this. I want to see if 100 out of 100 is exactly even gain and loss. So I'm going to set one engineer to 100 out of 100, and I'm going to set the other one to 105 out of 150, if that's what they were on before, 70, let's say. I want to see what that does. Some people coming in now, which is interesting. Stroll obviously was on softs originally, but I don't know why Albon and Ocon have come in. But yeah, I definitely want to run an experiment in regards to the confidence, because if I can fix that and make that actually work, then it makes the race part of this so much better. Because you're not worried about this stupidity. Even if it was the speed in which it gets back to the status quo mark, which is something that happens. Even if it was the speed in which you go back to that status quo mark when nothing else is happening, like this, for instance, being overtaken. But if you're just driving by yourself, the speed in which you get back to the status quo mark should make things interesting. As he's now got 0 confidence, despite the fact that now every single faster car... I do hope he actually pits before Stroll gets to him again, because I'm going to presume that's happening... No, it's actually 3 laps away. And now he's spun because he has low confidence. I know what's happening. The game has screwed you over there, Mick, is what's happened there. Yeah, it's no coincidence that he's spun then. Like, obviously, I watch other content creators in this space, and a lot of them don't do practice, and therefore their baseline their baseline confidence is bad because they don't do setups or get full track acclimatization and all that jazz. So their baseline confidence tends to be a lot worse. There's a reason why those creators have a lot more incidents than I do. It's because the baseline confidence is obviously so much lower, and therefore this is always very high for them. Is Mick actually... No, he's gone past the pit entry. That's annoying. I think he's far enough behind. Wait, did I just pit him on the wrong tyre? I did, yeah. Because of that spin, there will be enough of a gap between the two. We will double stack them, but we can't actually get Mick round in time now. Right, so the way that we actually got to still see tyres, and actually, what's happened here? Oh, it's the tyres, okay. Sorry, he's coming to the pits now anyway, so there's no chance of puncture. So Bottas has actually got an undercut because of pitting early off those softs. 2.5. That's one thing I did want to actually say, and I forgot about it. The gap between the races is probably most beneficial for our pit crew to not be fatigued, actually get some training time in. Like the greatest thing that gap does between these two races is actually give our pit time to improve. As Mick does come out last, but I think people just still need to pit. So we will get an undercut on some people. Just attack to get them up to temperature. Oh, he doesn't have tyres, that's a shame. But watching Maloney's pit stop, we did actually maintain Maloney's tyres. So that seems to be a way to deter it, is if you're actually watching on board as well. Does seem to deter the pit stop thing. As Maloney is firing knock on immediately. He was on a soft now for some reason. Norris has done the same thing, curiously. Oh, actually, no, everyone has stopped once, and Mick is now just last. Is Mick's 18th place in danger here because of everything that's happened? I mean, at the very least, he's driving around by himself, so he will eventually get back to his original confidence level. Eventually. Provided he doesn't have any more incidents. But we'll just leave him to it, because he's going to be driving so slowly, and I need to take him off tyres, obviously. We've got them up to temperature again. This is going to be bad for Zane, whose confidence is bad already, because he needs to get past Ocon and then drive away from Ocon, which he's not going to be able to do. I suppose we could try and deploy away from him. He's not going to drop him by the DRS, but it's more a case of getting Zane in the next DRS zone, which is Zhou Guanyu's. If we can get him into theirs, there's a lot of undercuts happening here. But it's ultimately going to be who's got an actual tyre at the end of this race. This is what I mean. Like, as soon as they're at bad confidence, they do things like this and keep locking up. It's so annoying. Right, so we've got him in Zhou Guanyu's DRS, so that's the main thing. So weirdly, actually, you take him off deploy now. So I think this might be harder on his pitting now. Sainz and Hamilton, I don't know what they started on. But Norris, who pitted onto a soft really early, seemingly, has got a massive undercut on everyone. But he's on a soft tyre, so he's going to have to stop again. Like, the tyre game here is so difficult to keep track of. Who's got a pit, who hasn't got a pit. And the good news is Zane's now coming through drivers and therefore actually getting confidence back by doing this. Similarly, now he's through Zhou Guanyu. Drive away from him, please, Maloney. We'll watch that again. Slightly different angle, but... It is slightly annoying, like, immediately after saying everything that we've done changes with and the patches and things like that, aside from the weird tyre, which is more amusing than it is annoying, really, just because it is a visual glitch. But aside from the tyre thing and the weird soft locking if one driver crashes thing that prevents you from literally that issue that literally prevents you from advancing. Aside from that issue, you know, it is actually more enjoyable to play this game than it was at launch. However, the confidence system, a race like this, I don't really know. Oh, of course, because he's actually ruined his tyres as well. Actually has 3 mediums. It's now faster to go aggressive with Mick, actually, and just burn these tyres as much as possible. So we'll just have fun with Mick. We'll change his strategy. Maloney crucially has actually driven away from them, so he's fine now. And I think we might actually be in a bit to just sort of drive and hope for the best, because we're not going to catch anyone without undercutting them now, really. Kind of forgot you were actually doing that, if I'm honest. Mick's actually gaining on the cars ahead despite harvesting now. Zhou Guanyu, have you pitted a second time? No, you're just on bad tyres now. That's so wild, actually, from Zhou Guanyu. Because, I mean, it won't be that long ago in the video for you guys, because I've sped through the last few laps, but it was Ocon and then Zhou Guanyu that Maloney had to get through. Now Zhou Guanyu is 21st. That's an insane drop-off from Zhou Guanyu. Bottas is pitting early again, just because, of course, he's clearly 3-stopping, but Mickey is gaining quite dramatically. I've got him battery back as well for good measure. I think I do need to conserve fuel. There's obviously a huge chance of Mick being lapped here, so I didn't actually see what the 1 lap delta was, but I assume at barriers minimum 1.4 is what we've got to get to here. Just because Ocon's going to come through, I would like to be able to fight him as much as possible. And he's come through, doesn't have tyres, of course. Won't bother watching it, because this is an early pit stop for them as well. Because he was on soft, so he's now gone to another medium, so I've got to assume he's going to end on a hard. Yeah, if you could just get out of the way, Mick. Thank you. You have been dropped by Ocon. That's fine. Just want to check if you're in DRS or not. That was the main thing. Because if you're not, then I'll put you back on harvesting. So we're in just an annoying period where he's going to be losing confidence again just because drivers that are pitted are coming through. But I think there's only 2 more. I think he's staying with Kevin, I think, so he might hold on to that DRS. Yeah, if you could not let everyone through, Mick, that would be great. Superb work there, Mick. Superb work. Thank you for being utterly useless. It's not his fault. It's the confidence system. But I think he may have just caught DRS there. He did. Lovely work, Mick. 1 kilogram of fuel is certainly enough. 1.3 is certainly enough for someone who's definitely going to be lapped. I'm actually genuinely in a fight to get 18th here with Mick. I'm genuinely going to have to fight for it. There goes Albon, who I think has pitted. So Maloney's going to be in a weird spot by the end of this race. He's on low confidence now because he's just been overtaken by someone on a fresher tyre, but he's not on that much fresher tyres. It's 10 seconds to Ocon though, so I don't think he's going to get taken by anyone else before the next round of pit stops, which seemingly Maloney's doing one less of than. Oh, Sonoda could be an issue, who's literally just pitted, but on board with Mick for this pit stop. Obviously a lot of chances for DHL stops here, but Piastri's yet to pit again, so Norris is the true leader here, wherever he is on track. Oh, actually, no, he's with Piastri, so, okay. Norris has pitted, and he's actually ahead of his teammate. He's got a full pit stop, which actually puts Mick in a really bad spot again, because we're going to get in this lapping situation with Mick. Although he's come out on mediums, of course, and should be faster than some of these drivers, even at the front now, because of tyre wear. They've all got to pit again, apart from Norris. So Maloney not far off a pit stop now, either. Snowden on a fresh hard is curious. Done medium hard, maybe probably to the end now. 8 seconds to Sonoda, so provided Sonoda doesn't make those 8 seconds in 4 laps, it's not really a guarantee if I'm honest. Apparently he's saying his optimal lap. I didn't get more of a warning than what I've got there. He does have Sonoda on his tail now, actually, annoyingly. Oh, he just goes through as well before he pits. Sonoda, what are you doing, mate? You just cost me confidence for no reason whatsoever. Meanwhile, though, yellow flag. Oh, please be big enough for it to be more than that. No, okay. Just someone going off somewhere. Probably Sergeant. Hulkenberg, in fact. Oh, please reset the tyres. Please reset the tyres. No, he's just not. He's not even done anything. He's just gone wide. All right, in you come. Right, tyres are on the car. Tyres are on the car. Tyres are definitely on the car. I think part of the key of maintaining tyres is to not actually look away from the driver. Never mind. Because I thought part of the issue was, because I noticed it when I was editing, is I switched cameras and then the tyres disappeared. And I thought that happened because I switched the camera, but no. Everyone's pitted a second time here, and yet somehow we are here. But there are people who are definitely pitting a third time. So Mickey's on Zhou Guanyu's tail here. Zhou Guanyu's definitely going to have to stop again. Oh, he's just been lapped as well. That's annoying. Right, if we can get this confidence, mate, that'd be great. Bye! Is that Piastri? Because if that's Piastri, follow him through, Mick. Follow him through. How are we 20 and 21? This is insane. It's insane how badly this race has gone, despite the fact we were predicted 11 and 12 for this particular track. Oh, but only got Hulkenberg. Wasn't even paying attention. He's on old softs and dying as a car. So, are you in Piastri's DRS here, Mick? Because that's going to be an incredible get if you are. No, you're not. Okay. I am tempted to leave you on battle DRS because I think Piastri's going to help you here. Maloney's now getting drivers because they need to pit again. Oh, he's just put Sonoda on Gasly though, so that's got his confidence back. So what Sonoda did to him earlier, it's come back in spades here. Admittedly, his tyres aren't going to be much worse than a lot of these people's. As you actually are still pushing here for some reason. So Zane's come out directly behind Albon essentially. Bottas is still ahead on net position, which is a bit annoying. There's an argument. I mean, you are a lap down, but there's an argument for actually going aggressive, like full 5 for one moment here. So Maloney is 3.5 behind Albon, 0.5 Magnussen, and then another 1.4. So 5.5 seconds behind Bottas. That's what you've got to get, mate. 5.5 seconds to Bottas is your best of the rest, because no one's retired, really. Mickey's up to 18th, but he does not need to pit again. Just go for it, mate. Ocon's going to be annoying and probably pass you, but other than that... Oh, Magnussen needed to pit again. Go for it, mate. How have there been no incidents at Austin? Wilder, the medium's going to do 10 laps on a push. But yeah, we are fighting for that 18th with Mick. That's someone to lap Maloney, who is medium. Okay. It's still 6.5 seconds to get to Bottas, which is crazy. I mean, we are being lapped by multiple people here, Zane, so... Oh no, that is the leader, actually, for Zane, isn't it? Yeah, that is the leader for Zane. But there's enough people in close proximity at the front that Zane will get lapped by multiple people by the end of this race. I need you to make some inroads here, Zane, please. I said, get lapped on the straight. That's not going to cost you massive amounts of time, is it? I mean, 18th. We only need 18th. Anything above 18th is largely irrelevant. Unless you're fighting for a point, which is not happening today because nobody in the top 12 has had a massive problem. 2.5 is better on Mick's side of the garage at least. So that's fun. At least Mick's got 2 places and come out actually behind a hard-running Hamilton. Wondering if he's going to be faster or not. But crucially, actually, he's come out in a really, I was going to say really sweet spot, but no, he does have Russell behind him. And Perez. It's actually Maloney that's in a sweet spot right now because there's a reasonable gap to Verstappen. The gap to Bottas is only getting bigger, but I think that's because Zane's been lapped. Oh, Mick's in a really good spot right here. Following Hamilton through, he's got to get 10 seconds on Gasly Sargent. He's now following Perez, incidentally. Bottas has actually got Tsunoda, insanely. We'll keep an eye on the Mick differentials because we do need to get him to 18th. Okay, 5 laps to go. Still following actually Perez and Hamilton. This is Mick's saviour. The overtakes he did prior to pit stops have got him up a little bit. He thankfully doesn't have the pace to make this awkward. He doesn't have the pace to make this awkward. But he is going to get to Sargent and Gasly by virtue of just pushing these tyres. So 18th is on the cards for these two. We're not going to get to Magnussen, who's 17th. So they're going to push him out of the way before the DRS zone here. And bye, Gasly. Gasly won't have DRS here. Mick will. I can't actually use the ERS because it will get him past one of these two in front. Watch they go because we've not seen anything for the last half of this race, but no one's got tyres, no one's crashed, I can't reset it. But yeah, Gasly won't have DRS here. Oh no, he might have it off Sargent. He might have it off Sargent originally because he was close to Sargent before he started getting lapped, so he might actually already have them. Sargent might actually end up being the worst of this lot because Gasly's probably presumably still right behind Mick. He is, although dropping off. I'm actually going to put battle assist on. Just make sure Gasly's outside our DRS, so we pull away from him. Because as long as we don't have a fight behind as well, we're in a good spot there. But yeah, if we keep DRS, we get up to Sargent here in the last 4 laps. We're in a good spot. I have no idea what Maloney's doing. I don't know why he's so bad. I don't know why Maloney can't keep up with these two. To be fair, Tsunoda can't keep up with these two, so I don't know what's going on there. Oh, it's happened again. It's happening again. Gasly does not have... Sargent does not have DRS. He's been shoved out of the way. I mean, it's a terrible, terrible lapping from Perez and Sargent's perspective there. But wait, he does have DRS. Oh, because he got lapped before the first one. Someone's actually had an incident there. Sainz. It's at the front. I'll watch it just because whatever, but trying to lap out Haas, is it? Or has he just gone off? Has he done what Mick did? Yeah, he did what Mick did. Although then Mick span there rather than just locked up there. So this is Mick's fight for £400,000, frankly. That's the only reason we're doing this. We've been allowed by way too many people that the fuel doesn't matter. Bye. Good work, Mick. I can't believe I'm having to fight for the money here. Thank you, Mick, for taking that opportunity. I wonder if there's anyone actually really in danger tyre-wise at the end of this race. Or is everyone actually has pitted sort of appropriately? They've just gone for differing strategies. Again, I can't go past Perez because he'll just... Perez has actually been dropped as well. So we're going to drag Sargent along with us, annoyingly. So Perez isn't going to have DRS. No, we don't. Oh, Gasly has a mechanical fault, so that's probably why he was a lot slower. But only has got closer to Tsunoda, but I think that's because Tsunoda got lapped by Verstappen. Basically, undercuts are big here. And the earlier pit, the better, basically, is the situation here. Because I remember Albon pitted early. Bottas was on a soft to begin with and had to pit early, but I don't know if Albon was on a soft. I think he just started early for a 3-stopper. So it is actually a 3-stopper here. So it's final lap for... No, Sargent. No. Back off. Back off, Logan. Back off. I don't know why they count as an overtake. So Zane started his final lap. Might as well just go for it on the tyres. No real reason not to. Full push on these tyres, Mick. Full send. It's a bit awkward for Mick because he can't actually overtake this driver in front. This is all about dropping Sargent, really, more than anything. I think, ideally, realistically, if we could be behind Perez at the detection point here, which is there, we can maybe deploy past him on this straight and get away with it. Or is Mick just not even going to bother to unlap himself? Nice Piastri for Verstappen. The McLaren's actually come good. It's mostly about just making sure he doesn't get close. Watch it from Sargent's point of view, actually. 15th Maloney is 400k. We don't really care. We've had points previous races. We're all right. As things stands, the top 11 have remained. Tsunoda's the only one out of position, really. Good for Bottas, though. 12th for him. Yeah, we've left Sargent behind here, so that's good. 18th place. Jesus, that did not need to be a fight. We got the money, though. That's all that matters. That was really bad. Hamilton up 14 places is incredible. Albon's done his usual there. Yeah, Mick's had a nightmare. Confidence system in full display. A 2.4 stop that we actually missed somehow for Mick Schumacher does nick us a point in this. Doesn't help us in any way, shape or form. We're still 42 points behind Kick Sauber. It was actually the middle stop. The one I didn't really look at. But we just about nicked 18th on both, so there we go. Lovely. So the 2 races where it said we were going to be 19th, 20th, we've ended up in the top 10. And the 1 race where it says we're going to be 11th or 12th, we've ended up both really fighting. And both drivers are now mentally positive. Yeah, mentality positive. Yeah, good, right. That makes sense. Logical. I wonder if it's a weird glitch from just not having a C1 version. I don't know what's going on there with the chassis, but how many races have we got left? It's having 4 of those. Oh, we've got a new one coming in, haven't we? So there's no point actually building new ones of that. Kind of forgot about that. Yeah, so the new chassis is in, but we're only going to get the benefit of it for 3 races. Good work there. Hubert is open to negotiation. Patience is medium. Oh, it's car 1, isn't it? Because it's Gary Gannon that needs to be replaced. I'll give you an extra 100k if you tell me immediately. Look what happens here, by the way. His actual original salary, he's kind of already happy with if I don't put the immediately in. If I give you an extra 100k, problem solved. In fact, if I make your breakout 1.2. Oh, it's 1 season. I've just realised. He's declined it anyway. Thank God for that. What do you want? 3 seasons? You can have that for sure. Why does nobody ever want breakouts? I'll give you another 100k, and I'll give you the breakout. I'll give you 4 seasons as well. 5. Well, 5. It puts you in your bracket there. In fact, I'll give it 4. Car 1. Give you an extra 200k. There you go. Problem solved. Go for it now, Hugh. Accepted. Right, there you go. Gary's gone because he's been poached by someone else anyway. We're getting Hubert in along with Pierre. We're stealing Red Bull's staff for some reason. Just the way the game's forced my hand. It just felt a little bit weird getting Lambiasi, but he's going anyway because they're replacing both of their race engineers for some reason. I don't think I actually need to scout anyone left, so I'll just save some money. Save a few thousand. Mick is unhappy we've signed new staff. He's unhappy with the staff, and he's unhappy we've signed new staff. Something is broken in his mentality system. We have 12 million or so in our cost cap, which is 2 engines worth effectively, but the first ones are free because we've not actually taken one on mixed car at all yet. So it'll work out in the end. I think we've got enough wiggle room. I just need to make sure I've got enough space for it to actually afford it in a race weekend if we need them. But our wind tunnel's now sad as well. We'll sort that out at the end of the year. We're not doing any more really. Actually, oh, I didn't realise we were already doing the hospitality room. Okay. Ah, this might be part of the problem as well. Both of these are... Screw it. I'm actually going to do these upgrades. It does cost us money, but we're going to have to do these upgrades so they're both tipped under. And they're such a big jump. It's the mentality boost that helps. In fact, doing that's got Mick happy again. Thank God for that. I needed to do that for the mentality more than anything else. Thank you for joining me. If you enjoyed this episode and you found something to enjoy in this debacle of an American Grand Prix for some reason, I don't know what happened there, if I'm completely honest. But thank you for joining me. Until next time, ta-ra.